All right, we're joined in studio by Jake Barker. He's the new lead pastor from Real Life Church. And Jake, thanks for being with us this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite.
So tell me a little bit, first of all, for those who don't know about Real Life Church, tell us a little bit about the church itself.
Yeah, Real Life Church is 24 years old here in Valencia, meets off New Hall Ranch Road, and the church is truly amazing. Some of the best people you'll ever meet. The mission statement, as stated, is to help people find and follow Jesus, and that's what everybody's really rallied around. And as I'm getting to know people, that's what people love the most.
And the congregation fairly young there.
That's right.
As I recall.
Yeah, 24 years old, which in church world is still kind of a baby. So we're still figuring things out every day.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're reaching the young people. And you yourself are not from Santa Clarita.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I have roots in the Midwest, but we've been in the state for 7 years, most recently in Orange County. But now we're, because of this invitation to start leading Real Life, we're making the transition up. So we're learning all things Valencia and all things about the Valley.
So what do you hope to bring? I mean, being a new pastor here and new to the community, what do you hope to bring to the church?
Yeah, the reason that we said yes to this invitation is because we love what the church is already doing. And so we hope to bring new energy to what has already been great. Real Life is a great place to bring your friends that have questions about God or questions about faith, questions about life. It's a great place for all of us to grow. And so what I hope is that in the next 10 to 20 years that we can continue doing what we've already been doing for a really long time.
All right, and Real Life has always been great in doing outreach in the community. And it's a weird question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It's we've got about 70 houses of worship in this valley, small and large. You know how it goes, from 40 in the congregation to 6,000 in the congregation. What makes Real Life stand out?
Yeah, the thing that I keep hearing is both the opportunity to bring your friend that maybe doesn't really understand all this stuff, and then also a heart for the city. We're convinced that the city ought to be a better place to live because churches are in it, and that requires a lot of generosity. It requires a lot of service, and so what we want is to be the best kind of church for the Santa Clarita Valley that we can possibly be.
Today churches are struggling, pastors are struggling with the message, right? Some people consider, they're politically correct or politically incorrect messages. I know a couple of years ago there was a little dust up over a movie called Unplanned. I don't know if you saw that or know about it. And some of the pastors were accused of bringing in a political theme when life is not political. Life is God. Again, what do you see your church or churches in general here struggling with that you think you can help with?
The conversation throughout not just this valley, but all over the country has become more complicated. With the advent of social media, we're more aware of different viewpoints, and it's probably inflamed all of us in extremes one way or another. And so at Real Life, our commitment is not to avoid the hard topics, but to make sure we keep the main thing. And that's who Jesus is, and that's what he's done for our lives, and what he means in our marriages and in our families. And so we want to be a kind of place where people from all over the political spectrum can come and worship. We can have disagreements about maybe some of the best ways of moving forward, but we still agree on what matters most.
Yeah, I've always said that, keep it at the basics. Keep
Right.
it at the corre message, which is the gospel, and not shy away from it. I noticed that in my research and studies and I bring pastors on the shows, the ones that stick with the pure message of the gospel are the ones that are growing. The ones who try to spin off into maybe ideological or political viewpoints are the ones that they ebb and flow with congregations and strong people. I think, again, personal opinion, I think that Christians have, for lack of a better term, failed in being strong in their communities, being leaders in their communities. Men need to step up. You see what's happening at the schools, and I'm on one of the school boards here myself, and it's one of my complaints is we don't show up. We don't let our love, our needs are known, and it's really tough. I'd like to see the churches get more involved in that kind of thing. Not politics, but get involved in making sure our schools and town councils, city councils are doing the right thing.
Yeah, I would be a terrible politician, so I don't try. I'm meant to be a pastor. I feel called to be a pastor, and so I'm going to stay in that lane.
No, and I agree with you. I just think, again, you're bringing up your kids. Our kids don't need to be ashamed of the gospel. They don't need to be afraid of loving Jesus, of knowing Jesus, of not in your face, but sharing Jesus with other people when asked or when the time arises.
And obviously, I'm going to be biased, but my conviction is that it's the best life to be lived, and there's freedom in it, and there's joy in it. But often those aren't the headlines of the Christian message. And so as we refine the way that we tell the story, and as we invite people into the life God created them to be, I think they'll find a lot of joy.
So how long you been in the community now?
So we are still in roots. We're making the transition this summer to lay down roots for a really long time. So we're still new. We're still finding all the important things like the best chips and salsa and the best places to hang
Joe,
out.
there.
what did I say?
Back to food
People will
again.
come to the city council. They'll
back
come to the
around
school
to
board
food.
meetings
If I
if you
put
have
chips
chips,
and-
guac, salsa,
There you go.
something.
That's
God,
the
I
key
give
to
up.
everything.
I give up. All right. You got about a minute. I know it's tough for a pastor, but I got about a minute. Make the pitch. Tell people about the church and when the services are.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called Real Life Church. We have services on Thursday night and Sunday morning. So if you're busy on Sunday morning, you got things going on during the weekend, there's a Thursday night service that's available for you. It's on Newhall Ranch Road, and what we want to do is create an environment where you can come with your questions. You can come with your work as a life in progress, and we will continue pointing you to Jesus in a loving and welcoming environment. And so anybody and everybody is welcome, and we'd love to see you soon.
Well, it was a pleasure having you here this morning, Pastor Jake. Lead pastor. We don't
Lead
use
pastor.
senior anymore, I guess.
No, I'm only 40. I'm
What if
trying
you
to
have-
avoid the word senior
Got
as
the
long as I
gray
can.
hair. Can we use senior at that point, I suppose?
Maybe.
Jake Barker, lead pastor from Real Life Church. Check it out. Check out the church. And it was a pleasure having you here with us this morning.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.